Hello, everybody, and welcome one and all once again to episode number 3 of Thoughts and Hunches, making money in bunches and sucker punches. I'm Stony. We're back. This is episode 3. I told you last week that we were going to start doing every episode on Fridays, but we had to wait until the ALCS finished, and it was too late to do it, so we're going to do it here. And we still got about an hour and a half. Probably, yeah, it looks like about an hour and a half until kickoff for the NCAA games this morning or this afternoon, wherever you live. And I'm going to give you guys plenty of time to listen to the picks and call your bookies or just get online and get down. So here we go. Let's start with the NCAA so you guys can run and make the call or get online and get down. Here we go. We're going to start NCAA week number 6, FSU, Florida State. We're going to roll with the Seminoles. Yeah, they're a bad football team. We know this. But we have faith in Mike Norvell, right? Head coach Mike Norvell did a great job turning around Memphis. He's going to do a good job at Florida State. He's off to, not a good start, but he didn't inherit anything. Excuse me. And today they're on the road at Notre Dame. Notre Dame hasn't played in 3 weeks because of the coronavirus, but with Jordan Travis stepping in at quarterback at Florida State, it looks like I'm going to take the 21 points. That's 3 touchdowns, and Notre Dame doesn't have the weapons or the guns to put up 45, 50 points against FSU, and we see Florida State scoring into the teens or the 20s, and that's going to be more than enough to cover the 21. So take the 21 on the road with the Noles. Game 2, the Red River Shootout, the Red River Rivalry, whatever it's called these days. Don't want to be politically correct or incorrect. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's OU versus Texas, one of the oldest rivalries around. For the 92nd time, 92nd time in a row, they're playing this game in Dallas. Unbelievable. It's a great party. It's a great show. It's a great event. They will have fans there, and we don't care who wins. We could care less. The bottom line is neither team's defense is playing well at all. Neither team can afford another loss. Oklahoma has lost 2 in a row. Texas lost last week. And we do not see either team's defense stepping up at all to slow down either offense. So just sit back, enjoy the game, take over 72.5. Yes, big number, but when both teams are going to score into the 50s, it doesn't matter. We see this game going over easily 90, probably 100. But both teams score into the 50s, it's going to be over 100, but we're going to take over 72.5, lock it in. There's your winner. Game number 3, we have Kentucky. Kentucky has kind of let us down the first couple games, but you can see what is being built there in Lexington. They've got a good young squad, and they're starting to come together. And aside from some bad penalties and key situations and turnovers that just absolutely killed them, this Wildcat team would be a lot better. But we're going to take Kentucky today at home against Mississippi State, -2. Lay the 2 points. Mississippi State is a good team. We all like Mike Leach, and we see what Mike Leach is doing. But that offense, the air raid offense, it comes and goes. You saw it 2 weeks ago when they went in and they lit up LSU, and they threw for 600 yards and 6 touchdowns. And then last week they just went out and laid a dud. So that could happen again today. We think it's going to happen again today. Take the Wildcats -2 at home. Game number 4, we have Kansas State, KSU, +9 at TCU. Roll with the Wildcats. Take the points. This is a classic game where KSU will step in and get you. KSU might win this game. TCU is coming off a huge win by beating Texas last week. And after the bye week next week, they're looking at Oklahoma. So it's the classic look-ahead game and the classic look-down game after beating Texas. So these are the types of situations that KSU just thrives on, and we're going to take the 9 and go on the road with the road dog. Another road dog is Texas A&M. Now, Texas A&M Coach Fisher hasn't really lived up to his contract so far, and there's a lot of naysayers right now that are wishing him uh, wishing for him to be fired. A lot of people want him to be out of town in College Station, but he's not going anywhere. He knows what he's doing. And today we're going to take the points at plus 5.5, Texas A&M at Florida at the Swamp in Gainesville. Now you say, oh, Stody, you must be out of your mind. What are you thinking? Florida's top 5 team. They're ranked number 4 right now, and if the season ends today, they'd probably have the presumptive Heisman Trophy winner and quarterback Kyle Trask. And the thing about Kyle Trask, here's what you got to know. Kyle Trask was born just south of Houston. Both of his parents went to Texas A&M, and he was named after Kyle Field in College Station. So he was supposed to go to Texas A&M. Didn't want to. He chose Florida. It's worked out for him. Don't get me wrong. It's great. But he's going to have a lot of people today watching, and I don't want to say cheering against him, but it's going to be one of those things where he's going to have a lot of pressure on him, and Texas A&M will be bringing the pressure to put on him. So Florida wins, but not by a touchdown. So we're going to take the 5.5 and roll with the Aggies. Last 2 games are both home favorites in big time TV matchups with I would say bowl implications, but we're going to say college football playoff implications. We'll start in Athens with Georgia. Georgia's minus 12.5 against Tennessee, and Georgia has absolutely owned Tennessee, and not just beating them, but beating them handily over the years. And while Tennessee has the SEC's longest win streak at 8 games, and they keep winning, they're showing that they can beat teams like South Carolina and Arkansas and the Vanderbilt and the lower teams of the SEC, but they haven't stepped up in class yet. And this would be a huge win, a program-shifting win for Greg Pruitt and Tennessee, but we just don't see it. Georgia has all the horses. You saw them last week completely annihilate Auburn when we had Auburn. But we're going to stick with Georgia, lay the 12.5 at home. It's the easier play. Finally, the last NCAA pick is Clemson, minus 14.5 at home against Miami. Kind of a same situation as the last game. Miami is the team on the rise. Shiny new quarterback in Derek King. He's the first quarterback that you can look at that Miami's had probably since Ken Dorsey that really gives Miami fans hope. And he's athletic as all hell. And he's moving the ball up and down the field. And they're scoring a lot of points. And they want to be David versus Goliath. Well, today they're going into Goliath's den. And Mike Tyson always said, everybody's got a plan to beat me, but once you come into the ring and once you get hit in the mouth, it's a different beast. Well, Clemson's going to hit him in the mouth, and Clemson's going to do it early and often. We're going to lay the 14.5 and watch the Tigers roll. So there's your 7 NCAA games for today. Go ahead, get down, get your picks in, and let's roll. We're going to go at least 5-2 on those picks, by the way. So, all right, now back to Major League Baseball. Right, last night was unbelievable. Game 5, deciding game in the American League Division Series saw Tampa Bay beat the Yankees with 2 solo home runs. They beat Garrett Cole. Well, they didn't beat Garrett Cole. They beat Aroldis Chapman. And they did it in grand style. And Tampa Bay is moving on. So we'll start with the American League Division Series, ALCS. We're in LCS mode now. So the American League Championship Series begins tomorrow on Sunday, and you got Tampa Bay against Houston. The series odds are Tampa Bay is the overwhelming favorite at minus 150. Houston is plus 125, and I actually thought it was going to be much higher than that, so I think you're actually getting a pretty good bargain with Tampa Bay at minus 150, because while they did have Ian Snell and Charlie Morton in the bullpen last night. They didn't have to use either one of them. So going into tomorrow, they'll have Snell rested and ready to go in game one. And they'll have Charlie Morton ready to go in game two. And Glasnow, who pitched unbelievable last night, he'll be ready for game three on Tuesday. So we like Tampa Bay because of pitching, and this is what it always comes down to. You can hit as many home runs as you want, but if you ain't pitching well, you ain't going to win in October. And that's what the four teams left kind of have in common is pitching so far. And probably with the exception of Houston, outside of Zach Greinke, they don't really have a pitcher in their rotation that really instills fear. So we're going to take Tampa Bay minus 150. Keep in mind, they were plus 215 to win the LCS before they beat the Yankees. Now they're the favorite at minus 150. Houston was plus 400 before the division series win over Oakland, and now they're plus 125, so you can see where the odds really shifted. As far as to win the World Series, Tampa Bay was plus 425 before they knocked out the Yankees. Now they're plus 250. Houston was plus 1,400 before they beat Oakland. Now they're plus 350. So everybody's odds have moved and everybody's odds have gotten worse. Anyway, we like Tampa Bay. If you want to bet how many games it's going to last, we're going to say Tampa Bay in 6. Maybe 5, maybe even 5, the quote gentleman sweep. But it ain't going 7. Tampa Bay is too good pitching, and we're going to roll with the Rays. As far as the NLCS goes, Dodgers, still the favorites to win everything. They haven't lost a game yet in the playoffs. They just came off a pretty impressive sweep of the Padres, and they're the favorites at minus 213 to win the LCS. And they're up against the Braves at plus 175. And the Braves have done all the pitching. If you looked at the Braves going into the postseason, you said, man, can they hit? But their pitching has injuries, and their ace, Mike Soroka, has been out for the year. But out of the how many games have they played? They've played 5 games, and they've thrown 4 shutouts in 5 games. Their bullpen has absolutely been locked down. Their hitting is timely. They have the best 1, 2, 3, top 3 hitters in all of baseball, and they're doing it right now. They were my pick from the get-go to win the World Series, and I'm not going to stop now. So we're going to take the Braves at plus 175 to beat the Dodgers, probably in 7, maybe in 6. It's going to be a heck of a series. But we're going to take the Braves as we have from the beginning. As far as World Series odds go, the Dodgers are the favorites from everybody at plus 160, where they were plus 260 before they beat the Padres. Atlanta was plus 650 before they won the last series, and now they're plus 450 to win the World Series, which makes them the underdog. Yeah, Houston right now has better odds to beat to win the World Series than the Braves do, but that's because Houston's not playing the Dodgers, who are the overall favorites. So there you go. We have Tampa Bay versus Atlanta in the World Series. That's our pick, and we've had that from the get-go. We've had Atlanta beating Tampa Bay in the World Series, and we're not going to change just because the odds have gone down. So there's your MLB picks, and now let's finally move on to tomorrow's NFL Week 5. We'll start with a trend that you'll see. Carolina plus 1.5 at Atlanta. We're going to take Carolina. Right now, Teddy Bridgewater has that offense moving well. Carolina's not playing badly at all, even defensively. They're going into Atlanta, which is nothing these days. Atlanta's a complete mess. Dan Quinn should have been fired after they blew the Super Bowl 3 years ago, but Atlanta keeps inventing ways to lose. We're going to take Carolina and roll with Teddy. Teddy Two Gloves, Teddy Ball Game. Teddy Bridgewater, plus 1.5 in Atlanta. Game 2, Cincinnati, plus 13 at Baltimore. Joe Burrow is playing out of his mind right now. Yes, Cincinnati is not nearly as good as Baltimore is clearly the better team. Lamar Jackson at home should roll up big numbers and run all over Cincinnati, but 13 is a really, really big number. We can see Joe Burrow putting up numbers against Baltimore and possibly even slipping through the back door. So we'll take the 13. Game number 3, yes, another road dog. 3 in a row to start NFL Week 5. Las Vegas, we're going to take the Raiders again. Plus 12 at Kansas City for the same reasons as we said above. The Raiders don't do anything great. They don't do anything badly either. But if they're not turning the ball over, this Raider team, can really surprise a lot of teams. The problem with Kansas City is Kansas City can get complacent. Kansas City's not going to go 16-0 because they're going to drop the ball. And it may happen this week. It won't. Kansas City will win. They're at home. But 12 points is way too many points to be giving the Raiders. Again, possibility of a backdoor. Kansas City leads by 17 late. Derek Carr throws a touchdown with a minute left. Game lands on 10. Bingo, you cash your Raider money. Finally, or not finally, but the fourth pick, another road dog. We're going to stick with the road dogs this weekend. Philly plus 7 at Pittsburgh. The Battle of the Keystone State. Pittsburgh hasn't played in a couple weeks because they had last week off from Tennessee's COVID-19 diagnoses. And Pittsburgh is better than Philly, but Philly went out to San Francisco and beat the 49ers. Yes, they were banged up and the 49ers played like hell, but Philly got it done, and Philly's defense really isn't half bad. The questions that Philly has had this season so far have been offensively. So if Philly can at least move the ball against this defense, which Pittsburgh coming in right now is as ferocious as Pittsburgh always has been, if Philly can score into the teens, we're going to like the 7. We like the 7 anyway. But if Philly scores into the teens or the 20s, then it's a lock. The under is also something you could look at, but we're just going to take Philly plus the 7. They won't win, but Pittsburgh will not win by more than a touchdown. Game 5, another road dog. This one goes in L.A. The Rams are at home, laying 7 to the Washington Football Club, Redskins. The Washington, their defense is absolutely loaded, and they've played exceptionally well. They've just had problems moving the ball, which is why they benched their quarterback and Haskins, and he's gone, and in comes Kyle Allen. Now, Kyle Allen doesn't really exude a lot of confidence, but a lot more than Haskins does, and the bottom line is Washington's defense is why we're taking the points here. We're going to take a touchdown against the Rams. The Rams are up and down. The Rams, don't get me wrong, could hang 40 on Washington, but we see the Rams scoring 17, winning this game 17-13. We're going to take the Washington Football Club plus the points. The last 2 games are actually favorites after the first 5 were dogs. The first one is Indy. They're a short favorite, -1 at Cleveland. So the first 6 picks are all road teams. We like the Colts. Cleveland is playing great. They're 3-1, and so is Indianapolis. But we just can't see a world where the Browns start 4-1. Just can't do it. No way. Not going to happen. Anyway, take Indianapolis, lay the 1. And the final game of the week, 49ers -9.5 at home against Miami. Miami's got to travel cross country. Miami hasn't played poorly. They've played badly, or they played well. They've been in a lot of games. 49ers have not looked good. But for the first time this season, they're going to have all the weapons on offense. Presumably, if Raheem Mostert starts, they're going to have all their weapons healthy and going on offense. So Jimmy Garoppolo's back. He's starting. He's going to have Deebo Samuel. He's going to have George Kittle. He's going to have Raheem Mostert. And we see the 49ers running and throwing all over Miami. The 49ers will score high into the 30s, possibly the 40s, and run away with this one. The 49ers win this one by 20. So there's your 7 picks. Enjoy yourselves this weekend and for the week coming up. Remember, click subscribe to this if you like the content, because every Friday, probably either Friday night or Saturday morning, a new video will come up and we'll give you all our picks for the weekend. So click subscribe so this way you'll know when a new video is posted so you're not constantly checking and checking. So there you go. Remember, if you're going to win big, you got to bet big. This is Stoney signing out, and last and not least, good luck to you.